Peace be upon you, friends. With you is your friend Darum. I ask you to support the channel by subscribing, liking, and posting motivating comments and an enjoyable viewing experience for you. It's okay. It's easy. God willing. He started reading and did not put his hand on me, as happened to me when I was young. So I said to myself, it seems that the ways of reading have changed, or that they differ from one person to or to another. My brother looked at me with a sullen look and frowned when I interrupted him while he was reading to correct a mistake in his intonation that he had made from the first verse he pronounced. His frown turned into anger when I interrupted him more than 3 times for the same reason, until he said in an angry tone, "Don't interrupt me," I said sharply. "How can I not interrupt you when you are reading incorrectly?" "Achoo," he said in an interrogative manner that I think was somewhat artificial. "Hey, who are you?" I smiled and said, "I don't know. Tell me."
He said with a frown, "Why did you interrupt the word of God? Why don't you want to hear it?" I said calmly, mixed with some mockery. "Because you are tampering with the word of God. Read correctly, and I will not interrupt you." He frowned and said angrily, directing his words to my brother, "Your brother is confused, so he refuses to listen to the Quran and interrupts me." I laughed and said, "I am boycotting you because you did not pass the tajweed subject alone. Moreover, there is no such thing as confusion. It is a myth." He did not pay any attention to me and continued trying to convince my brother that I was immoral until I had had enough of his nonsense and got up, saying to my brother, "I am outside waiting for you to finish." I left the place. As I made my way through the miserable and desperate crowds waiting for some time from that blessed old man, until I reached the outside and leaned on our car, staring at the crowds of people entering and exiting the place. My brother came out a few minutes later with a bag in his hand and said, "What did you do?" "What? My brother? Why did you talk to the sheikh in this way?" "What sheikh are you talking about?" "About that fraudster who did not go beyond his primary school education." My brother, sadly, "What should I tell my mother now?" I said strictly, "Don't tell her anything." "Did you believe what that ignorant person said, that I was clothed?" My brother, "No, I don't know. What is this in your hand?" My brother headed towards the car to get in and said, "Nothing." I followed him and forcefully took the bag from his hand and opened it to find a bottle of oil and 2 bottles of water. I smiled and said, "How much did you buy?" My brother didn't answer me. I told him while joking, "Come on, tell me how much." My brother, "Oil is 200 and water is 50. I laughed, saying, "Why didn't you ask for a discount?" My brother, sadly, "Please do not mock religion," I shouted at him without feeling. "This is not a religion. Why don't you understand?" He did not respond to me, so I went to the nearest trash and threw away the baksh and what was in it. My brother got into the car silently, started the engine, and sat inside while I stood near the house, watching the people gathered. My brother broke his silence after lowering his window and said, "Shall we not leave?" I said while staring at the house. "What is happening here is wrong." My brother, "We have nothing to do with this. Let's leave." "What will you tell my mother?" My brother, "I will not tell her anything except that the sheikh said that you are fine." I turned to him and said, "My mother will believe the words of a person she has never seen before and deny the words of her son?" My brother, "Can we leave now? Morocco is almost here." During our conversation, a man came out of the house of al-Mutamashik with a girl moaning and crying, and the man was holding her shoulder, and in his hand was a bag similar to the bag I had just thrown in the garbage. The girl was crying at first, but when she reached the middle of the street, she started screaming and trying to escape from the hands of the man who appeared to be her father or one of her male relatives. The girl was able to escape from his grip, and as soon as she did so, she threw off her cloak and began pulling her hair and screaming loudly in front of people. The sight did not bother me, but I was disturbed when I saw a mark on her forehead, a mark that I had never seen before except in one of Ammar's books, a mark of ownership for demons in love. I had never seen it before on anyone's body. I had only seen it drawing in books. The marking was clear despite the distance between us. The man forcefully controlled the girl, got her into the car, and drove away from the place. I subconsciously ran towards our car, got in, and shouted at my brother, "Follow them." My brother, "Who do I follow?" I said out loud. "Follow that car quickly before it drives away." My brother moved quickly and was able to catch up with them because a traffic signal stopped them. While we were standing behind them, he turned to me and said nervously, "What's wrong with you? Why do we follow them?" I said with my eyes on the car, "That girl," my brother. "What's wrong with her?" Possessed, my brother. "Do you believe in touch now? Didn't you tell the sheikh that touch is a myth?" I said as I turned to him, "I did not say that. Being caught is a myth, but touching exists." My brother, "What is the difference?" I turned on the signal and the car we were following moved. I told my brother in a firm tone mixed with some tension to follow it and not lose it. He said, calm down. I will follow them." We continued to follow the car for about a quarter of an hour until it stopped in front of a house in an old neighborhood, so I asked my brother to stop before I left. He noticed us and said, "Why did we sell that car?" I said as I watched the man drop the girl off and take her into the house, "I want to check something." My brother, "Check what?" I answered him after the man and the girl entered the house and said, "What happened to me? I mean the years that I was gone up, those books that you read in my absence and that caused you those nightmares." My brother, with a look of worry on his face, "Yes. What's wrong with her? You gain nightmares, but I gain knowledge." My brother, "Knowledge? What knowledge?" "Knowledge I did not seek or seek to obtain, but I absorbed it and learned it. Knowledge that is written and not printed. It exists and is not proven." My brother was surprised. "What are you talking about?" I told him as I turned my face towards that girl's house. "Listen, I will make an agreement with you." My brother, "What kind of agreement?" I said while staring at the house. "What happened to me might be hallucinations, madness. Maybe I understood all of that, and I have already begun to reach that conviction and believe it." My brother, "What happened to you? You never told me anything. You would just disappear and come back in a different state after every time you disappeared. If what I experienced were just hallucinations invented by my crazy mind, we will know now." My brother, "I don't understand anything." I turned to him and said, "That girl bears the mark of a lover's upper devil on her forehead." Brother, "Devil what?" "Forget the details. The important thing is what will happen now with sunset, if my intuition is correct." My brother, "What will happen?"